Hi, my name is Mo, and you're watching MOBO TV. Check it out. Basically it was just an idea of kind of like setting in, urban stories set in the future, and the whole idea was it's kind of like as a filmmaker, I enjoy films that help me escape from where I am, and obviously Shank is about kind of like it's almost like a message about anti-knife crime. So, obviously took that concept and I thought to myself, look, these kids want to have something that they could kind of almost fantasize and like enjoy and kind of like, that will take them away from where they are right now. So we thought, let's set it in the future. I think kids would appreciate that. And we sat down with a group of children from different schools and kind of like presented this idea to them. And then they actually helped write the script. So it's kind of like, what they wanted to see. So it's kind of, the inspiration really was the kids and kind of giving them something that they kind of could help them get away from where they are, and almost have like characters that are almost like heroes and stuff like that. I think it's the bit at the end between Tugs and Junior, the bit where he's got the knife and stuff like that, and it's kind of like a point between, it's a flip of a coin. Does he do it? Does he not? And it's just a moment where we see Junior become a man and decide not to kind of like use violence, as a way of kind of like surviving. And for me, it's kind of the most edgiest part of the whole film, and also kind of the most it's got a really good message because kids can watch it and just go, right, he did that, and that means I could do that. And the whole film the story outline is all in a day. So if someone goes through something like that, hopefully they could kind of like take reference from what Junior did. So I think that is the most important scene there, basically, in the whole film. No, do you know what it was? It was just an idea of, again, it's kind of like this idea of, I thought, well, the Olympics coming up, all this money's been spent on these big buildings, this big event that's only going to last us a month. And what are these kids going to have? What are they going to do? And what are the people that should live around London? And all the money that's going to be taken away from that, their schemes and their lives and whatever that's going to happen, and it's funneled through the Olympics. All these people, that depend on this money maybe, would revolt, and that will probably, plus we're in recession, and that's going to make the whole economy even worse. I had this idea of maybe the Olympics and poor people revolt and, ram raid the whole kind of Olympics, and then 2 years after that, or 3 years after that, London becomes this wild beast, that the money they've spent, they can't have it anymore. So obviously these people, London becomes shut down, and this idea of these, urban kids living in the future with London that's messed up, I just like that, I thought, there was opportunity, and plus it's a nice little idea. I mean, personally, this film, I want to have this attitude where this film is for the kids, The main thing is it's aimed for them, it's their story that they've helped develop, and, it belongs to these kids, really. We made it for these young audiences. And obviously the adults, they would think that, but I think they should kind of like see the deeper meaning to it, which is kind of choosing right instead of wrong. So I think if an audience of that age group, a mature audience, thinks like that, I think they should review it again. And I hope that they could see a different point of view once they sit with their children or their nephews and nieces or their students. I think it's a kind of film that would actually kind of create discussion between the kids and adults and stuff like that. So I think that viewpoint, if someone has that, I'd just suggest go out and watch it again. I wanted to take away that it was fun, it was comedy, had good action that's not seen for an urban film before, and it was just a new idea, Also, like, I hope in the next couple of years, other filmmakers could try different genres for this kind of like, storyline that's set for these teenage kids in London or Britain in general, really. So I think I want them to take away that kind of idea that they can explore new mediums to tell this kind of like urban story. And I think that's kind of, plus it's, knives are bad. That's what I'm supposed to say. Oh my God, I have like the list. I mean, films like The Shining, Clockwork Orange, 2001, Ghibli Studios. You know Ghibli Studios? You know, like all the Spirited Away animation films. You know, those Japanese, really good, beautiful stories. Blade Runner, obviously. Even the Goonies. You know, I love films. You know, you can notice that all of those films have this fantasy, escapism element to it, and I always loved that. And those films, but probably the ultimate one would probably be Blade Runner. You know, every shot was amazing. You know what? You know, the things that get me up is like temp type thing that gets me off. Like good to go. Obviously, bashing music. But also, I'm weird. I kind of listen to 50s music to kind of get me in a good mood. Because I like to be positive. So I like positive, cool music. But I know if I'm gonna have a busy day, I'll probably play temps, and then just kind of that will get me going.